What is up, everybody? This is your boy AJ Trip, and welcome to a very special That's a Shoot. This is the WWE 2019 Awards. I will be giving awards out for in 7 different categories: Moment of the Year, Superstar of the Year, and so much more. Only giving out WWE awards as AEW is something I know cover fully on this channel as of right now. So this is only for the WWE, and this covers the entire under the entire umbrella: NXT, SmackDown, and Raw. So with that being said, let's get on with the awards show. We're gonna start off with Rivalry of the Year. The nominees are Randy Orton versus Kofi Kingston, a throwback to a decade ago when there was that alleged incident of where Randy Orton held down Kofi Kingston's push due to the fact that in a match in ring, Kofi Kingston messed up the finish, and Randy, of course, said "stupid, stupid." So there was a lot of um, solidness behind this rivalry. It did not end up being the rivalry ended up being great. The matches were not all of that what maybe it could have been, but still I thought the rivalry was really good. The next nominee, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, Ronda Rousey, heading into the first ever women's main event at WrestleMania 35. Um, the way they combine all, and this seemingly started, at a little bit before Survivor Series, or actually it may have started actually at Evolution. Because they did this thing after Evolution. Evolution was heading into Survivor Series, where they were doing all of the um, Raw versus SmackDown stuff, and the thing happened with Becky Lynch and Ronda was starting there, and then of course Nia Jax broke Becky Lynch's nose, and then that put Charlotte into the mix, and then Charlotte. So it went all over. It was several months of insaneness, a few several flips and turns here you know um, Becky Lynch being a heel to a babyface, from Charlotte being a babyface into a heel, and same thing with Ronda Rousey throwing babyface into a heel. So, and then the best part of the rivalry was obviously that Monday Night Raw where all three of them got arrested and they had that big brawl and for the cops and everything. So that was fantastic, so I thought it was a really good rivalry heading into WrestleMania 35. Um, Next nominee, Seth Rollins versus Brock Lesnar. This was also kind of starting into late last year. As you can see, Seth Rollins was always complaining that Brock Lesnar wasn't there after Roman went down with with his cancer. He had to take time off, and he put the title back on Brock, and they were starting the whole thing with Seth Rollins, kind of calling out Brock Lesnar for that. He won the Royal Rumble, and then they did some stuff, and they took it to WrestleMania, and he beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. And all of that was good. And then Brock Lesnar won Money in the Bank, and they decided to go ahead and keep that going. And Brock was saying who was going to be. It was going to be Kofi. Was it going to be Seth Rollins? And there was a lot of us that was thinking that he was going to hold it until that first SmackDown, um, and then challenge Kofi for it then. But he actually that's probably the way they should have done it, because maybe that would have been a better way. A lot of people was not happy with the way that Kofi lost it, but maybe if he lost it like that after having a grueling title defense against Baron Corbin or somebody, right? Then Brock Lesnar would have came down, cashed in, and then won the WWE Championship. That would have made people feel a lot better about Kofi's reign. But he actually cashed in on Seth Rollins after the Extreme Rules match. I think he came down, he cashed in, he beat Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins conquered the Beast one more time at SummerSlam to win the title. So again, yeah, they had a pretty good rivalry this year. The next nominee is Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. Now this was a rivalry of need basically because as Tommaso Ciampa went down with a neck injury, they needed somebody to fill in for Ciampa at Takeover New York, and it was Adam Cole, and they had a fantastic match. And Johnny Gargano won, winning the NXT title. And then they had one at Takeover 25. They had a regular match where Adam Cole won. He won the match, and so then it came down to Takeover Toronto. I believe that's when it was where it was basically the 2 out of 3 falls match. It was so it was it was in the third match, and it was the cage of death, whatever they called it. So all 3 matches were fantastic. All the stories were just incredible. The only way it could have been better if it was Tommaso Ciampa, and a lot of people say that it should have been, but I think Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano did a fantastic job with what they had, and they created they started off as being a feud of convenience and ended up being a feud, a rivalry of greatness. So good on them. And then the final rivalry was the Raw versus SmackDown versus NXT. When it was told that NXT was going to join in into the faction warfare of Raw versus SmackDown for Survivor Series, a lot of us was excited. And again, I'm not sure how they were going to go about it, but because they were coming off of Crown Jewel, and not and the people were still in Saudi Arabia, that SmackDown NXT stuff was just incredible that first week, and it just ended up being going through all the way through Survivor Series, some really good stuff, some matchups that were really nice to see. You know, we had Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley on NXT one time, so that was good, and we had we had Adam Cole versus Daniel Bryan on SmackDown, and then following Monday we had Adam Cole against Seth Rollins, and so we had some really fun matches and fun stuff, and it was really cool, and the Survivor Series was cool. NXT was basically ran roughshod, ran supreme. So they won the night, proving that they are the big brand. So good on WWE for making not only adding NXT but making NXT the actual competent brand. And they essentially they had to, because why would you just squash NXT when you put NXT up against AEW? So it's obviously they obviously wanted to do it, and I think they did a great job with it as well. And the winner is Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. Listen, I said it before. I think the rivalry, it was a rivalry of convenience, but they showed out. They had 3 fantastic matches in a row. Told a great story about Johnny Gargano. Then told the story with Adam Cole, and that was a part of the golden undisputed, with everybody from the undisputed era. We're gonna have gold, and so some really good stuff there. So the rivalry of the year is Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. Next award is the Most Improved Award, and this is a combination of everything. Not only most improved in the ring, but most improved like everywhere, like on the mic and just as an overall superstar. So the nominees are Dana Brooke, Buddy Murphy, Baron Corbin, Kevin Owens, and Lacey Evans. And the winner is Dana Brooke. I think Dana Brooke has been the most improved all around. Not only in her stuff in the ring. Now she a lot of stuff she showed she was only able to show on WWE main event, but she I think she has improved in the ring and on the stick. And I think she's very good as an overall actress and overall superstar, and I'm glad to see her now coming up on SmackDown, getting some more stuff. She needs to do more winning, something like that. But I'm glad to see her, getting getting more time to do so, getting more time to show her stuff. As for the other ones, I really thought, we know how good in the ring Buddy Murphy is, but I think he's been very excellent. He was very good in the Roman Reigns stuff this past summer. Um, talking about taking out his life, with everything like that. So I thought Buddy Murphy was really good. I thought Baron Corbin really stepped up his game in the ring, especially when it came to the tournament. He's always been good on the stick and something like that, but he was very, very good in the King of Ring tournament this year. So I thought good reason why he was nominated. Kevin Owens, I thought was really, really good once he turned back babyface, and he became really, really excellent as well on the mic. He was already good on the mic and good in the ring, but I thought he really stepped up his game, improved. And listen, let's give it up to Lacey Evans, because when she was green as goose shit, as they like to say. Um, when she started off, because she was one of the ones, her, Heavy Machinery, um, Laura Sullivan, and EC3, and Nikki Cross. They were all brought up to the main roster um, when the McMahons came out last December, and talked about them not having everything and not being, um, and basically came out to do Mia Copa. So she was brought up then, and she was number one in the Royal Rumble. She and her and Natalia, her and Natalia could have been, rivalry of the year, because they had a long-standing rivalry that ended up with a sign of respect in Saudi Arabia, being the first ever match in Saudi Arabia. So um, but yeah, they were, and she started off and she was really green in the Royal Rumble, and she really didn't wrestle a lot. She came out, shook Raid, and then would go back, and then she had a rivalry with Becky Lynch it was all right. I don't think she was ready for that. And Becky Lynch is not the type of competitor, not the type of in-ring person that can bring somebody up to their level. She's almost John Cena in that way, right? She's good in the ring, but she can't bring somebody to make them better. She can't carry them to a better match. It looks like, you know, she's got to be on someone's level. So but anyway, uh, and then she had the new Lacey, and then they took Lacey Evans out, and then she immediately got better, and they started putting her in other things. And right now, the stuff she's doing with Sasha Banks, I think that's really good. I think the stuff with her about being her mother, being up on a Marine, I actually think that's probably something that they really need to maybe cut out, is the whole sexy Southern Belle stuff. Play up more of the Marine stuff and things like that, and maybe have her change her gear, because she is like this like 1920s type of or 1930s, whenever that was, when people would go over there and and they would go in and serve the troops, and it's almost like that type of era lady. So but all that being said, I gave it to Dana Brooks. I think she's deserved. I think she's the one that's been the most improved this entire year, and gained gradually in every aspect of being a WWE superstar. So that's why the most improved superstar of the year is Dana Brooks. Now it's the tag team of the year. Here are the nominees: the Viking Raiders. For the most of the time, they in WWE, they were undefeated. Their first loss was at um, Crown Jewel, when they lost the tag team Turbo match to determine the best tag team in the world. Yes. And they lost to the OC. And then most recently they lost the match to the OC. So they've only lost 2 times since being called up to the main roster. But they had a fantabulous match with Ricochet and Aleister Black in the NXT Takeover New York, and they did some great things before that as well in NXT. So the first nominee are the Viking Raiders. The next nominee, the Undisputed Era. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish are back together, and it was fun while that. It was fun. While I should say why it lasted, but it's just fun. It's fun to have them back. As good as Kyle O'Reilly and Roger Strong was, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, they just have a connection together. So it's really, really good to see them back and playing together and doing what they do best, which is wrestling. So love that. Love to see them back. They had fantastic. They again won the uh, NXT tag titles. They won. I think they won them twice this year. They won them from. I think they. I don't know if they did win them again. Maybe they didn't. No. Actually, I think they were when the War Raiders, when Viking Raiders were called up. Um, they were it was put on a thing with in C25 that ladder match, and then they won them from the Street Profits. So But yeah, fantastic work they did this year from the Undisputed Era, as always. The next one is the Kabuki Warriors. Um, Surprisingly, I was kind of very surprised, when they called up Kairi Sane to put them and Asuka together. You wondered why, but they had some great chemistry. They've done some great work in the ring, and now they've turned heel and they've become very, very, very dominant. If I must say. Some really, really good stuff. Hopefully, Kairi Sane is still okay. She's recovering from her injury at TLC. But I really like what the Kabuki Warriors were, um, and we'll see what it goes in the future. I actually think they're probably better off being singles competitors. We may have to get into maybe in the new year talk about, really break down the women's tag team championship, because I don't know that's necessarily a good thing right now, because it does take away some some good wrestlers away from being together. So from being singles wrestlers like Asuka. Right now she's gonna have a feud with Becky Lynch. Looks like going into Royal Rumble, but maybe that's what Asuka should just be doing. She should just be singles. But again, you could say they wasn't doing anything with it wasn't doing anything with Asuka. So hey, that's the right thing to do. So the next tag team of the year is Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Now this one was a shocker, because when they brought these two together, all of us thought, well, listen, this is what they're gonna do, right? They're doing this thing where Nikki Cross is like this kind of this person that's kind of gullible, and maybe she's looking for a friend. She feels lonely after being called up on the roster. Alexa Bliss brings her in, and then all of a sudden she's gonna turn on Nikki Cross. That never happened. Now I don't know if that was going to happen, and things happened because there was a couple injuries for Alexa Bliss, and it just never did. And it may still happen, at some point. And maybe it's the other way around. Maybe Nikki turns on Alexa, right now. But yeah, it's actually been an interesting thing. And then they won the women's tag team championships, and they had a good run with that before they lost to the Kabuki Warriors, so and they've been really, really good. So when healthy, Nikki's been fantastic. She really could have been put in the most improved superstar of the year category as well. Um, but yeah, it's fantastic for these two ladies. So Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, nominee for Tag Team of the Year, and of course, finally, the last nominee, the New Day. What can you say when in a year when you become 6 and 7-time tag team champions of the WWE? I think it's just amazing, and it's amazing what they've done. At one point they had most of the gold. Kofi was the WWE championship, and then Big E and Woods was the tag team champion. So some really, really good stuff from the New Day. As usual, they've just been great entertaining and great in the ring. So um, loved what the New Day did this entire year. Um, but the winners for the tag team of the year, the Viking Raiders. and like I said before, they went most of the year being undefeated. Now let's also say that most of those was that they were fighting job guys, and they still are fighting job guys, kind of. I'm not necessarily sure why, but still, I think that the takeover matches and the other matches they have had with other wrestlers, I think was really really good. So from my perspective, the tag team of the year was the Viking Raiders. Now for a moment of the year, the nominees are Becky Lynch wins the main event at WrestleMania 35, the first ever all women's main event in WrestleMania history, and Becky Lynch is the one to win it. She wins both the Raw and SmackDown women's titles. They had Charlotte win the match, beat Asuka for the SmackDown Women's title to make her a champion, and they named it the winner take all. And Becky Lynch came out on top in the main event, beating Ronda Rousey, giving Ronda Rousey her first, um, not necessarily her first loss, because her first loss actually came in a tag match, but Natalya took the pin. But her first, the first time her shoulders were pinned in WWE, and it was with Becky Lynch. So, moment that was definitely a heart stopping moment. The next one, also from WrestleMania 35, Kofi Mania, right? And the thing, this was actually supposed to be Mustafa Ali. Ali was supposed to get this part, but in a match with Randy Orton, he got a hit and he got his eye busted and everything like that. So then they replaced him with Kofi Kingston, and Kofi got hot doing with the in the gauntlet match, and then all of the stuff heading up to Kofi Mania and things like that, and then him actually winning the match, being the first African-born wrestler to win the WWE Championship, was awesome. And again, he's not the first black WWE champion. That's The Rock. We can cut that out right now. But I won't. I also won't take away how it must have felt for some people, especially of color, black people, to see Kofi Kingston standing there with the WWE Championship, to see him win it in WrestleMania in a main event level match. I understand how that must have felt for some people. Um, you know, just because, just because they never really felt, because even though Rock's the first black championship, he's also half Samoan, and maybe some people might feel that, okay, well, Vince was giving was Vince was giving The Rock that spot because he didn't see The Rock as a black man. He sees The Rock as just someone with dark skin, with brown skin, you know, or darker color skin tone or whatever, right? Because that's what some people see as him as an actor. To see The Rock, The Rock plays everything. He doesn't. Nothing about him says why he's black, he's Samoan, he's white, he's this, he's that, anything like nothing, anything. In that in that San Andreas movie, his daughter's white. So, his daughter's white, his wife was white. So you basically say he was a tan white man, but that's one thing that's good about The Rock when it comes to acting, but that's not made no ditch about it. He's a black man, you know. But so what that being said, I understand the whole thing with Kofi Mania, and that's why he's on this list. So Kofi Mania. Roman Reigns returned from leukemia. This still kind of blows my mind when I think about it. A year later, almost a little over a year later, him coming out, and I was actually reliving that, a few, maybe a month or so ago, a few weeks ago, him coming out and announcing on the on Monday Night Raw, the beginning of Monday Night Raw, that he had cancer, and basically it looked like that nobody else knew, right? Like nobody else knew. It may have been just Vince and maybe Triple H and a few others, but the announced thing people didn't know because at least there was nothing. They stood up as they were saying, "Here comes the big dog," what Michael Cole always says. And when they came back from the commercial, you could see the emotion from Corey Graves, who's obviously a good friend of Roman Reigns. And you see the emotion um, from Renee Young, who with Dean Ambrose, who's married to Dean Ambrose, and that's his best friend and everything like that. And then obviously Michael Cole knows him and loves him and respects him as well. All of that, and you just never know. We heard the statistics about somebody overcoming leukemia for a second time. It can be done. It's not normal, right, to do so. And for everything that has happened, for him to come back as quickly as he did, in fact, um, was just awesome. And it was incredible. And in fact, it was so incredible that uh, the WWE, the ESPYS gave him the award for best WWE moment with that. So I think that was well deserved. Um, the next nominee didn't happen in 2019, but it happened within calendar year. I probably should have thought this out better, but listen, it's been a wild, it's been a very wild um, 2 months of my life. So forgive me if some things are not as well thought out as maybe they should have been. But the McMahons on Raw, and I mentioned this a little bit earlier, them coming out on Monday Night Raw and basically saying that they have been putting out a good product for us, and they were going to try to do better. That's and there's all four of them. It was Vince, Stephanie, Triple H, and Shane. They all were out there, and and we were and at least I thought we were gonna go away from the heel, you know, authority figures, because they basically said that without saying that. Stephanie's not been on television pretty much. She's been on once or twice. She was there doing the draft and doing the redraft for the first thing on Fox, and she came out and she she had a fun April Fool's joke, which she said that she was gonna be in the main event, and she's done some other stuff, but she basically has not been on television as a face, as a heel anymore. But then same with Triple H and Vince. Although Vince had some real stuff with the whole women's main event stuff, and then the stuff with Kofi Kingston. He was kind of doing some heel stuff, and then they turned Shane McMahon heel, and I have no idea why. That really pissed me off. But for the most part, and when they came out and did it, it seemed like it was a significant change for a few months, but then they really just went away from it because they hoping that everybody would forget, and most of us really did forget. But um, so yeah, that was that, and the last nominee, Promoter of the Year, Sasha Banks and Bayley wins the women's tag team title match at Elimination Chamber. Introducing them was incredible. Making it happen was impossible, and then for Sasha Banks and Bayley to win it was was really fantastic, and it was a good match as well. Everything that went down into it for the women division to have tag titles, I think a lot of us thought would be awesome and it would be great. It really hasn't turned out that way, um, because they really I think they really cut down and hampered some people. Um, Again, like we talked about with Asuka, maybe Asuka and Kairi Sane should not be attacking. They should be singles wrestlers. You know, they should be in the singles division. of either Raw or SmackDown or maybe even NXT. Um, but that's another story for another day. But the moment of having Bayley and Sasha Banks win the women's tag team titles, I think, are worthy. And the winner for moment of the year, listen, it's the greatest moments is whereas when you return from leukemia in the time that you did, it's this is a no-brainer. This was the only one I had no thoughts about, and it was Roman Reigns returning uh, from cancer, and it's the WWE Moment of the Year of 2019. Performer of the Year. Here are the nominees: Adam Cole. You know what he's done this year. He's put on fantastic match after fantastic match after fantastic match. Whether it's on a takeover, whether it's on NXT, whatever it is, Adam Cole has just been phenomenal this year, putting on classic after classic after classic. Ricochet. For him, he's put on some fantastic performances as well. The stuff with Samoa Joe and the stuff with AJ Styles, it has been all incredible, and he's done some really, really good stuff. He's kind of cooled off a little bit, just a little bit, but I think he's still high. I think he still can be someone you see get really, really hot in the future. Seth Rollins. I mean, let's not beat around the bush. Seth Rollins has done some really great stuff this year, and I think for um, I think he gets a bad rap for defending the WWE. He's not trying to be a company shield. He's just trying to. He just because people out there they down on WWE just to down on them, really. That's it from my point of view. Some of the things they don't really need to be talking about. Or they go overboard with this stuff. Oh, this is so awful and this is so horrible. And it's not. Maybe it's not. It is not the greatest thing in the world. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not something that you would like to see. But it's probably not. It's probably not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing this year obviously was the Fiend match with Seth Rollins at the Hell in a Cell, and the way they've done that. But otherwise, it's they go overboard. So I don't, but this has nothing to do with his out of the ring stuff as well. When Performer of the Year is about your in ring performances, and Seth Rollins has had some great in ring matches this year, whether it be Brock Lesnar, AJ Styles, or any other people he's had some good matches with. So Seth Rollins belongs on this list. The next one, Johnny Gargano, he belongs on as well. Listen, the matches he's had with Adam Cole, all three of those matches just put him on that list automatically. And he's had some other good bouts as well. Like the matches he had for like the North American Championship with Velveteen Dream and other matches as well. So he's had some really, really fine stuff this year for Johnny Gargano. AJ Styles. We talked about AJ Styles, right? Finally. And AJ Styles has had some really good stuff as well. His matches, some of the matches with Cedric Alexander, with Ricochet, his matches with Seth Rollins, some other ones as well, were just really, really good this year. His match with Randy Orton, even though you couldn't see it at WrestleMania, I think that was really, really good as well. So I have no doubt, no problem with AJ Styles this year as a performer. He was incredible. And the winner for Performer of the Year, Adam Cole. Listen, like I said, he has had barn burning performance after barn burning performance this year, and that's why right now he is the NXT champion. I don't think, I think he's probably gonna lose it at the takeover in Tampa, but he is fantastic, and that's why he is the 2019 Performer of the Year. Now it's time for the Match of the Year. What was the best match in WWE 2019? Let's talk about it. Here are the nominees, and we're gonna start from 2018. But it's the SmackDown Women's Title match TLC 2018 between Asuka, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair. It was just fantastic. It was everything that it was cracked up to be between these three ladies, and they did some fantastic stuff. And then we hit the Ronda Rousey thing where Ronda Rousey came down and pushed Charlotte and Becky off of the the ladder. Had to cut Asuka to be able to get up there and win the title. I think was good as well. So I thought it was a fantastic one. Of the late last match. I don't think I had it in my match of the year for last year. Um, that's because I think part of it was I didn't get the opportunity to do it or anything like that. But that's neither here nor there. So SmackDown Women's Title match from TLC 2018. Next one, the NXT North American Title match from Takeover Arizona. And wow, just what a fantastic match this was. This again was lovely. This was Ricochet and Johnny Gargano, and what they did, they took it to the limit. They took it to the extreme, and this was Johnny Gargano's kind of verge into the heel type of persona that he was going for at the time, and it was fantastic. Great match all around. I thought this was wonderful between these two guys, and they did some excellent work. And Johnny Gargano came out on top. He was the North American. He won the North American title, and so yeah, wonderful match. Next nominee, the NXT Tag match from Takeover New York. This was incredible. And I didn't get the opportunity to see this live, um, because it was just I was doing something else, and wasn't and this is on a Friday. They put it on a Friday instead of a Saturday, and I don't know what the hell they were thinking when they were doing it, but I went back and watched it. When I watched it, my mind was just blown. That this was not only this was a tag match, but this was the opener of the night. And as good as it was, as great as it was just fantastic, truly amazing work. This was Aleister Black and Ricochet versus the at that time the War Raiders for the NXT tag title. So some really good stuff from those two. Yeah. The sun is getting brighter, so I hope you guys can still see me. I think on the reflection on the viewfinder, I'm seeing myself. So I think you can see me pretty good. So hopefully, you know, hopefully you guys can see me. Our next match was the NXT title match from Takeover Toronto. This was this 2 out of 3 special falls match. You know, the three basically the 3 stages of hell in NXT. They ended up with the cage of death coming down and everything like that. But this was obviously incredible, entertaining as hell. Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano, the 3rd match in this series. Wonderful stuff. And Adam Cole came out on top, but it was some really, as Vince would say, that's some good shit, brother. It was really good stuff going on between these two guys there. So I enjoyed the heck out of it. The Raw Women's Title match from Hell in a Cell. This was Sasha Banks against Becky Lynch. It kicked off Hell in a Cell, and you know it was really good, really good stuff. Obviously, these two women are good in the ring, and they were able to keep up, and there's some innovative spots, including one where they put a chair in the thing and in the corner, and they kind of put Sasha Banks on the chair. So, yeah, I thought it was some really good work from these two guys, and I thought it started off kicking off Hell in a Cell to what we thought was going to be, it started off really good. Of course, it ended crazy. So, but yeah, the Raw Women's Title match from Hell in a Cell. And finally, the NXT UK Takeover match from Takeover New York, and this was Pete Dunne versus Walter, and this match was totally different than with anything that you see, right? Because people talked about this being British strong style at its effect, and it it was totally different. But just because it was different doesn't mean that it wasn't good. And at this point, it was great. And I enjoyed watching it. I thought it was really, really fun. I thought it was worthy enough to be in my match of the year nominees. So it's really great stuff from Walter, and he done Walter won, and he has retained the UK championship. He now has a group, Imperium in NXT UK. Which, by the way, I don't necessarily watch. I don't necessarily watch. I don't watch. Um, but I do know that they're doing some good stuff over there. I think they have a takeover special coming up in January as well. So yeah, but that match deserves to be on this match of the year list. And the winner for match of the year 2019 is an NXT tag match from Takeover New York. That was just, if I were to go Dave Meltzer, I gave it 5 stars. But if I were to go Dave Meltzer, it would have been like 5.5, because it was incredible. It really was. It truly was. I thought it was just fantastic. I thought it was. From what I can remember, I don't think there was like any really bad mess ups or screw ups, anything like that. And I think the thing with Ricochet at the end, I think maybe that might have been a little bit of the work. I don't know if it was necessarily real, although he has now come up with that one-legged code breaker he calls the recoil. So maybe it kind of was something. Maybe kind of, he came up with that shortly after that. To keep him from doing the whole 630. But I found it to be incredible. So um, yeah, I just thought it was fantastic. Takeover New York, the tag match, the War Raiders versus Aleister Black and Ricochet. It's the 2019 WWE Match of the Year. And the last award is Superstar of the Year. Here are the nominees: Becky Lynch, Adam Cole, Seth Rollins, Kofi Kingston, Bayley, Baron Corbin, and Bray Wyatt. All worthy of the coveted WWE Superstar of the Year. There can only be one, and that goes to Baron Corbin. Now, wait a minute. I know you guys are just, before you guys go off in the comments, what the fuck is wrong with you? Baron Corbin. I think, as I look over it and I look at everybody, right, and you look at Adam Cole with the stuff he's done in the ring and the stuff that he did out of and everything like that. That's why he's the performer of the year. He made stuff in the ring. Out of the ring, he was okay as well. Becky Lynch, obviously we talked about the WrestleMania 35 main event and the stuff that in her becoming the man and the stuff that she's done. And Kofi Kingston and being the first African-born champion, and he had a great run as champion, 180 days, 6 months as champion. Bayley, the heel turn was just fantastic, and her coming into her own as that. I think that's going to be good for her. Seth Rollins, you know, again, maybe he's not been the best, this year, but he was definitely one of the best. And I love the stuff that he's done in the ring and out of the ring area. And now basically the turn with the heel turn and the AOP right now has been great as well. And listen, Bray Wyatt with the whole. I never get the whole Firefly Funhouse stuff. I like the Muscle Man dance. That was really good. Um, and the stuff he's coming becoming a fiend and everything like that. That was all good as well as good as well. But I don't think there's been nobody. There's been nobody not this year who has been on his game like Baron Corbin. And some people could say that he's he's not that not that good in the ring, but I think he's proven that he is that good in the ring. The stuff with Shorty G and other things that have happened to him. The fact that he gets crowds to hate him, and you know, I know even Brian Zane even talked about go away heat and heel heat, and you know, and use Baron Corbin as an example. But you know, I you know, I don't think if Baron Corbin had go away heat, I don't think it was because it wasn't on Baron Corbin. It was because of the company. I think what Baron Corbin has done his job effectively, and has done his job incredibly. And then when he became the king and the king of the ring and everything, like becoming King Corbin, has been even better. He's become even better than you know than he was before that. Um, so for me, as I look at it, and all of these people are worthy, more than worthy of winning Superstar of the Year. But I'm gonna give it to Baron Corbin just because I feel like from January 1st to December 31st, he's been the most consistently incredible performer in all stages of what it takes to be a WWE superstar. And I know I had him as most improved and he didn't win it. But how can he win? How can he not win most improved? You know, because I think he improved a little bit, while Dana Brooke improved bounds. But King Corbin was just has just become incredible, and I think that's why he is my WWE Superstar of the Year for 2019. All right, y'all. So let's recap really quick. The rivalry of the year was Adam Cole versus Johnny Gargano. The most improved superstar of the year was Dana Brooke. The tag team of the year was the Viking Raiders. The moment of the year was Roman Reigns returning from leukemia. The performer of the year was Adam Cole. The match of the year was the NXT Tag Team title match from TakeOver New York. And the superstar of the year was Baron Corbin. That was a great 2019 for WWE. So here are some updates just to let you know once again that That's a Shoot will be returning in the new year. The first That's a Shoot would actually be on. I think it actually will be returning on my birthday, January 11th. We're gonna do That's a Shoot, and it's returning back in its old form where I'm gonna put over 3 things, bury 3 things, and they're gonna have a main topic of the show. So make sure that you are going to want to be here for that. Also, soon coming out, I'm going to have a top 10 things I want to see in 2020 in wrestling. That's going to be coming out. So make sure you guys are here for that. So click the notification bell if you already haven't. Make sure you catch these videos as they come out, as they drop, as they like to say. So yes, yeah, that is the WWE 2019. So I know you guys probably have a lot of comments about my awards, so make sure you post them down below. Let me know what you guys think. Let me go. Who would you guys have chosen for these? Once again, these are the WWE. This is not wrestling in general, anything like that. So nothing from AEW or New Japan Pro Wrestling or anything like that. This is just WWE, as we primarily focus on WWE on this channel. Again, maybe as time goes on, maybe we will go more into, at least more into AEW, as that since this is a really big thing. But right now, this is just WWE primarily focused. So yeah, post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy, AJ Tripp, signing off. But before we go, we must remember those that we lost in 2019. Some of the biggest names in the wrestling industry that passed away this past year. We now salute them in memoriam. See you guys next time.